We've been using the word transformative a lot. We've been using the word inspired a lot, ignited a lot. We've been using those terms. And thus far in the conversations that I've had, all of those things are occurring.
A sense of power, you know? Many people have spoken about seeing themselves, their reflection in the work, being challenged by the work.
This is the conversation you'd have if you were in a big group. And that to me is really exciting because, again, intuitively, you want that to happen, but you're never sure. You know, there's always this kind of tightrope feeling you have as a curator.
We are here in these truths at the Albright-Knox Northland, and magic is happening here.
We, right now, are at the Albright-Knox at Northland, and it is filled with beautiful pieces, beautiful stories on the wall, beautiful sculptures that tell stories, and I am impressed, overwhelmed, and excited about being able to take part in this journey as a curator.
We are at Albright-Knox Northland, 612 Northland on the east side of Buffalo. This is a very unique space for the display of art. We're in a factory building that has become a showcase for some of the best contemporary art.
My name is Edreys Wajed. I am a Buffalonian, born and raised, schooled and educated. I'm a father of two, married to a wonderful human being, Alexa. And I am a creative and an artist here to make a difference. That's who I am.
I am Aitina Fareed-Cooke, and I am a mother, a wife, an educator, entrepreneur, a lot of different roles. Ultimately, I'm just an igniter of thought and expander of perspectives. I have a company called Get Focused Productions, where it's creative media arts, and just want to tell stories and create stories through photography and film, and also teach young people how to do so.
My name is Aaron Ott, and I'm the curator of public art at the Albright-Knox. One of the conversations that always happens around art spaces, it's not unique to the Albright, but is about representation. Who should be, given the sort of platform for displaying their artwork. And again, Aitina and Edreys are two of the most talented artists in Buffalo, and so naturally, I went to them because I trust them. I have a lot of faith in them. I can be honest, blunt. They're the same way with me. And so we started talking about what an exhibition would look like. It felt like, well, who's curating this first? We should, before we even answer, this question about representation, who's curating it? And, as we kind of stalled in answering that question, it became really self-evident to me that the obvious answer was Aitina and Edreys, right?
Yes, so along with Aitina Fareed-Cooke and led by public art curator Aaron Ott, the three of us co-curated this current exhibit in these truths. And the conversation, if I recall, started about 2 years ago. I feel like it started about 2 years ago when he mentioned there was a big opportunity that he had us in mind for. And, everybody's living their life. Aitina's busy with her business. I'm busy in grad school and running my business. And so the 2 years kind of zipped by. I didn't think about it. I wasn't even thinking about it. And then basically he pushed the button and was like, yeah, remember what I talked to you about a couple years back? Well, it's here now, right? And the opportunity is real, and we're moving forward with it. And then we got more details about it and everything about the opportunity to curate. And here we are.
I would say the journey started probably years ago, especially with me and Edreys. We met a while ago. Actually, our first time meeting was at Albright-Knox through, there's an event that Edreys was part of, and I was rapping, and I did a show there, and connected with Edreys then. And then as time went on, I continued to run into Edreys in different situations as far as music, hip hop is concerned, and then art, and then, things like that. With Aaron, just through art spaces, different realms that we're in, just kind of connected. And as time went on, I think everybody's paths kind of came together, and there was a question about, are there any Black curators in Buffalo? And Aaron approached me with the opportunity to be one, and I said, that sounds interesting. All right, let's try it. And then from there, just being able to grow and develop with those two has been dope.
I thought originally that curating was about my favorites, like just grabbing everything that spoke to me, like, oh, I love this one looks good. And I realized though that it was about pieces that will stir conversation.
My aha moment was that I've always been curating. And I think that we are all curators in our own right. Whether it be within our lives, what we kind of pull together that makes sense to us, curating moments, memories, if you will.
Like some of these pieces don't strike me as much as others. So it's like being in this cohort of 3, everybody had their input, and so in that, I had to learn to kind of fall back too, and also have discussions over the pieces that they felt were worth discussing over,
But all in all, it's an orchestra. Like I said, it's an orchestra. It's understanding what sections are necessary, what artists or what musicians are going to play what instruments. If this gallery exhibit, if the theme is in these truths, and truths to mean, what's important to you, who are you, what is your identity?
And in the end, if you do all that successfully, I guess the best positive byproduct is that the work does harmonize with each other. Like, that's important too. That is a part of curating I've learned. Like, they have to sit together,
Positioning pieces a certain way so that there's some sort of silence, so you can focus in on certain sections. And then as you walk throughout the gallery, there's this crescendo of music or thoughts on the wall, or in the middle of the floor as far as sculptures are concerned, knowing specifically what needs to happen at what times. And it's just been amazing.
Oftentimes, especially in sort of white American lenses, there's the tendency to think of a Black community as a homogenous thing, as one type of thing. And this show really pushes against that notion.
But I think the key thing was the diversification of artists, even within, I guess if you want to say, a people group, just that kind of continuous desire to showcase that Blackness is not a monolith, and that there's diversity within that space. So making sure that the artists that we selected were coming from various backgrounds, they have various mediums to showcase their truths, but also pose the question to the viewer, what is your truth? So it was a process, it was a journey, and it was a lot of fun.
There's still one piece that still just sticks. It just sticks to me. I can't get it off, and that's the Alana Clark piece. The fact that she took a medium or a product and a material that she had an experience with, a negative experience with, and it's an experience that is not only unique to her, but it's unique to a lot of Black women in particular about their struggles with their hair and how they are presented in public and how they see themselves as well. And to take that and then make it into this, I mean, that piece is just so bold, it's large. People who haven't had that experience, as we talked about earlier, about pieces that will spark discussion, right? So if you read the label and you don't have that experience and you walk up to that piece, it makes you stop. It makes you stop and kind of empathize and kind of push you into that place. At least it suggests you to be in that place of what self-image is, you know, what it is to be, all of the challenges of being a Black woman in society and things of that nature, and you know, the conversation of hair. That's the one that sticks to me the most, man. It's still, there's several others, but that's the one to me.
It's sometimes tough because all of them speak to some piece of me, but I have to say, like, it's tough because I so much enjoy Young Yemi's work. Futuristic embellishments, the photography, you know, his work is just amazing to me. It speaks in so many different ways, like it's the past, it's the present, it's the future, all wrapped up in one. Just does something when I look at his work. But then you have, you know, I can go on and on, to be honest, because you have Phyllis's work that we were able to showcase, but Phyllis has a collection of pieces that I feel no one even knows that this is a medium or a way in which she spoke through art. We're all used to a certain way, and we just happen to come across her work, the pieces that are showcased in the gallery.
To see and to be able to speak with Phyllis about this work that, you know, to her is 40 years old, and you know, she hasn't really visited or revisited in a while, and to us they're new and they are vibrant and they're full of life and they're really exciting, and they're really exciting for somebody like me who works at the Albright and understands the sort of depth of the abstraction that we hold in our collection, and to see her work kind of contextualized among peers in this exhibition, but also thinking about her work in the language of our collection and the sort of like titans of abstraction. I think she fits very comfortably in that conversation. And so those kind of moments as a curator and as a historian are really exciting because it's not revisionist history. That work is up right now. It's powerful and it has grabbed a lot of people's attention. But you know, she's less well known than her contemporaries. And so for me, and I know for Edreys and Aitina, it was very exciting to find that work and to be able to show people who are familiar with her work, to show them that work, the monoprints, and to say, you know, Phyllis is actively kind of creating this work, but she's also had this entire career, which is, I don't know, really fascinating to all of us.
So yeah, I think what a show to close out on, number one. What a show to close out on, what a finale. You know, like really, like what a finale. You know, 23 artists, 59 pieces of work, 3 curators, right? With that, closing out, it feels like to me passing the baton, you know? It's the best way I can put it. Like, the Albright has made the commitment to doing this work, to, you know, sponsoring in this and, you know, open the doors to have this conversation. And hopefully the Albright continues to do their work on a broader scope back in the space 1285 or what have you, right? However, and also with that is like, now the baton who's gonna pick up the baton? Like, who's gonna continue the conversations along with the Albright? Like, who's also gonna be in this race now, you know, or this marathon? Because that's what it is. This is a long journey, a long run. You know, this isn't, even though this is only from, you know, March to June, this portion of it, but the conversation is lifelong, you know, so it should be a lifelong conversation
Yeah, my thoughts about In These Truths being the last show at Northland is, with respect to the sort of content that's in this exhibition, I think, my sincere hope is that it also signals what I believe to be an authentic kind of commitment at the Albright to diversity and equity and inclusion and accessibility. I mean, these words get thrown around a lot, but to us, they are the work, right? It's something that we don't, it's not a box that you check and it's sort of ever done, right? It's something that is always present. And I think Northland has taught us a lot about how to be good stewards of our community. And that to me is something that is really special. And so to see people get really excited about this exhibition makes me really excited about what they'll see at AKG, right? So when we reopen on Elmwood, I think that there's going to be, a different set of opportunities, a different set of circumstances, but one that I hope and believe will welcome the community in a way that has been as authentic as our experience here at Northland.
Of course, I think it's amazing to end it off here, but though this may be the last exhibit, I think it's a beginning to something. I think it's a beginning to something great. That's the hope, at least. That's the desire, that we have put together something amazing. And I think it spoke on so many levels about humanity and unification, coming together, being open, being honest, speaking and having perspectives live throughout the space. You have older generation and newer generation of artists in this space. You have different mediums, within this space. There's so much value in this space. I think that the question is, what now? What's next, if you will? So that's the answer that I'm looking for. What do we do now? What's next? How do we keep this conversation going? Is this just a cute thing we did? Or is this something to say it is important, and I feel like it's a valuable opportunity for voices of this capacity to continue to be heard on a larger scale, like in the actual Albright-Knox on Elmwood.